Itaola, SoccerBeat lovers. It's your boy Lebohang Cheezboy Mokoena, the real cheese cheddar, the real mozzarella, baba. Welcome to Talking Orlando Pirates. Before Skuluma ngayo, Moeneeb, welcome back, my man. Welcome back. This guy's been firing shots offline, firing shots, missing the Pirate show, missing the fans. Welcome back, Njami. We missed you. We
I'm
missed you.
surprised. I'm surprised you still remember my name. You know, I told you already earlier that yes, I was thinking I was maybe applying for a job there by the Talking Chief show, but then I realized hey, there's nothing to talk about on that side. So let me come back here and see my old boys. Good to be back. Good to be back.
No, it's nice. It's nice having you, it's nice having you, man. I've been doing this thing with Mark, and yeah, everything's been good so far. But we just like to say thank you, guys. Keep on hitting that button. Keep on subscribing. Yeah. We must hit that 50,000 mark. If you can push it to 100, why not? Do it for the love of the game. So today, guys, we'll be talking about the latest of Orlando Pirates coaches coming in, or I don't know what's going to be happening because I think it's on a lot of supporters' minds that who's going to be the next Orlando Pirates coach. I think some of us also have a couple of names that have been put out there from the reliable source that there are these candidates that are sure that out of these 3 or 4 coaches, one might get the job as the head coach. So without wasting any time, I'll just give you guys the names. I think the first name that came out was Coach Rulani Mokwena. We'll talk a little bit about him. And then there's Coach Jingles, Pitso Mosimane, Dr. Mosimane himself. And there's also Coach Mandla, who is still part of the team. And there's also a name that was thrown in there, been in the 18 area. So, yeah, a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about. So, yeah, I'll just open the floor to you guys. First we'll start off with Coach Rulani. Do you guys think would he be a good appointment for Orlando Pirates since he's been a coach at Pirates? He left, but he's got a lot of experience. He's been in the Champions League knockout stages. He's won the league. Are Pirates looking to head in that direction of somebody that already has the experience of playing in these competitions?
Cheesy, I think from my side also, I am biased when it comes to South African coaches, especially young coaches like Coach Orlani. And I think also he has done well. He has grown from his first spell at Orlando Pirates, going into Chipa, moving to Sundowns, and then moving to Wydad as well. I think we cannot take for granted the experience that he has gained throughout these years. I think when he inherited Sundowns as the head coach, Coach Peter just left for Al Ahly. It was a team that was already in good motion and a team that was built properly by Coach Pitso, and then also he took it to another level in my views that I think they played better football. I think they dominated the league. They won games with their second team. I remember watching them. They were playing their sort of fringe players, and they could beat teams for using those fringe players or players that were not playing regularly as well. Semi-final Champions League twice, league champions. I think by the time they won the league by 5-6 games, not losing the game. I think they only lost one game, their last game against Golden Arrows, if I remember quite well. So I think he has grown as a manager as well, how he manages. And I saw with the difficulties of Wydad, where he got the team and where he took the team, I think also the club was a little bit unfair to let him go because I think he had built the team. I think the sacrifices that he speaks about, paying salaries of players, sacrificing salaries. And for me, it shows a leader that is matured, a leader that the club wants and the club needs, someone that is selfless, someone that is forever evolving and helping himself and educating himself as well. I remember he was in Brazil just the other time. He's a coach that also players learn from, and I think South African players, they also relate. So for me, he's between him and Coach Pitts, of course, it cannot be easy. I respect Rulani also. I had one of his interviews saying when Zamalek approached him and Zamalek told him that also Coach Pitso is on the race of the same job, and then he said, "No, I'm pulling out because I respect Coach Pitso. I cannot compete with Coach Pitso." So I don't know if he's gonna pull out with the Paris job as well. Um, so, but that I'm hopeful that he will come in, and I'm certain that he's gonna bring in good football for the club, and he's gonna take the club to the next level.
Nipi, Mamela, Mark says he's not sure it's a 50-50 because Coach Rulani wants to put Coach Pitso first, but with Coach Pitso, I think it has died down a bit in terms of him joining Orlando Pirates because most of the fans feel like, what, we don't like a coach like Coach Pitso, he's a little bit aggressive, nyana, he does his own things, and we want to be part of the club, be part of the players, So what's your thoughts between the two before we get to Coach Mandla and Coach Benni?
I raised my opinion. Like this is a show where we just talk about our opinions. At the end of the day, Orlando Pirates will make that decision of who's the best candidate. I have my personal opinion as well, where why I feel a certain candidate should be getting the job. But at the end of the day, we can be speaking about whoever. Orlando Pirates will make the proper decision. Unfortunately, my candidate is still contracted. And for me, I feel that's the best candidate. You know what I'm saying? I feel that's the best candidate because he understands the culture. He understands what they need. He has that winning mentality. Yes, Rulani has his own experience across the world, across whatever, but he's had the opportunity to coach Orlando Pirates, and for me, it wasn't a success. It left in with the building burnt down. So those little things sit with me. With really, really, that doesn't sit good with me. Yes, like Marcus says, he's learned this, he's learned that, and he's gained more experience. Fair enough, but I'm still 100% behind what is needed at Orlando Pirates. And at the moment, me personally, I just feel he has bigger fish to go and fry now. Whereas I think we need a new face, a new agenda, a new personality to drive this
Who is this new
foundation. This foundation that has been this foundation that has been laid for us openly. We just need someone to take it to that next level, and my candidate will always remain and is still that guy.
Who's
No.
the guy cheating?
The guy's inside the area. He's somewhere in the box, man. He's a good finisher, world-class finisher, man. We know the story, Mark. TKZ.
But also, I agree, Cheesy. I agree. Also, he's also one of my favorite candidates. For me, I'm welcome to mention the name Benni McCarthy. I think also his experience also at Manchester United, his experience in the Champions League, his experience as a football player, and what it means to win and to play elite football and high level football. I think he will bring that mentality. And fortunately, I had a stint of him as a player and him as a coach. And he's a guy with personality, and what I like about him the most is that he's not a one-man show. I remember at City, Vasily used to take sessions. He used to take some of the sessions. He used to give other guys also a chance to coach. It was not only about him. He as with everything that he has achieved. He's fairly, fairly humble. As a guy, and I think also he likes to empower other people as well. And so, but as a coach, I think he's a serial winner. As a player, also he was a serial winner. He used to do extra training at 34, 35 years old at the time. Moeneeb, finishing after training, and someone that to we looked up to, and someone that also can bring this kind of mindset to our players as well. So he's also my don't think that Moeneeb is the 18
I'm not saying anything. You stop mentioning names here. I'm not mentioning names here.
area. But we had to discuss Coach Rulani because
No, of course.
Yeah.
No,
But
of course.
guys,
But listen, I
but
said,
guys,
like I'm
Coach
saying,
Rulani is like the most likely candidate, from the sources and the way people are talking. And if you look at it, listen to his interviews as well. I think with what you said, Mark, with Coach Rulani saying, I'd rather leave the other job because he had an offer from Pyramid. And it's like, no, I'd rather leave my senior to take that one over. So there are signs that there's a possibility. But I also I would like to see maybe another different face. But we don't know what decision the club is going to take, because also you must take in consideration the players also, Mark, because whatever coach you're going to be bringing in, how is this going to affect the players? Look at a player like Urilo. How would he benefit under Coach Rulani if he stays in South Africa for another season? How would he benefit under Coach Pitso? Because they all different type of coaches, that want players to play in a different way, so I think it's gonna be interesting towards the end just to find out who's gonna be the next Orlando Pirates coach. Let's not forget Coach Mandla, guys. Coach Mandla has been there. I think he has done so much for the club. Being assistant to Coach Riveiro. Why can't he get the nod and give the coach a chance?
you know what? Well, of course, Mandla. I love Coach Mandla. I love Coach Mandla because for me, he's one of those humble human beings. Humble, calm, nice and relaxed, But I just don't feel that personality to take the lead role. But I feel whoever gets that lead role at the team should have Coach Mandla on the bench next to him because he understands the culture. He understands the way these players think, especially this group of players now. Because he's worked with them. He's worked with them since the beginning, where he's seen them grow. He understands what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and that information can be passed on to the guy coming in. So he is very, very important to the Orlando Pirates structure for me. As much as I love him, but like I say, it's nothing against Coach Mandla. It's just I think that we need a bit of a like a personality, and Coach Manda's personality is there, the one who's going to be there for the players, puts his arm around the players. He's that type of guy, and fortunately for us, we have a guy like that. We need someone who understands this culture of this club, and to keep Coach Mandla there is a necessity. I think it's a necessity. Listen, this is an opinion show. We raise our opinions. We just speak about what we think as former players, as people who love Orlando Pirates. At the end of the day, that decision will remain with the club, and we cannot fault the decisions that they made for the past 3 seasons by bringing Coach Riveiro. We look at the track record that of them selecting a quality coach. So yes, it's I'm confident they will bring the right person. So at the end of the day, we will just have something to speak to, let our supporters, to let our fans know that, listen, this is happening. And seeing that you two guys have been doing absolutely nothing about talking Pirates, absolutely nothing in the off season. Everybody's been on off season. Look, Kaiser Chiefs has got they're going on off season to international. Like I said as well, they're going to be trying to get that international experience to compete with the top 2 in the league, which is necessary because they'll only be playing all the normal teams. The big teams will be playing in August. They will start their season in December when the league starts for the bottom 9. Mamelodi Sundowns has gone over, the team from Midrand. They have gone all the way there to America to go feed our 49 refugees. It's they have been busy. Everybody's been busy, but the two of you have been on off season already. What the hell, man?
We,
So
we
now
haven't
we have
we,
something to
we
speak
haven't
about.
been on off season, Moeneeb. We've been checking data. The way Pirates did it with Coach Rivera. I think Mark. I think this one you should be able to take because Pirates used Analytics FC data
Yeah,
profiling
software.
algorithms to assess the historical history of the coach. Excuse my English. I have to twing a little bit.
The
So
bombastic
so it
words,
was
the
a so
bombastics.
In
it was a
Barnabas
da- it
High
was a
School
data
and
it
in
was
what
it was
High School.
yeah, no, it was a data profiling move that Pirates got a coach like Coach Rivera. Do you think maybe they should use the same format? Because once he got here, people were saying he's a plumber. Are they going to use that method again through the data? Find a coach, bring him here, and then one game, then he gets a name, mechanic or whoever. So what's your take if they don't get it right with the 3 candidates, or maybe it's the route that Pirates will be going? How best is that, like to take a coach via data instead of maybe the history or stuff like that?
Welcome aboard Air Mobile, the new way to mobile. Expect a seriously easy experience. We took what's wrong with mobile and made it right. We've ditched things like crazy fees, expensive contracts, and overall nonsense. Up here, the data stays fresher for longer. No more expiring after 1 month. Plus, with eSIM, you can connect in minutes. Refer a friend and you both get 5 gigabytes of mobile data. Visit airmobile.co.za to get connected. T's and C's apply.
How best is that? Like to take a coach via data instead of maybe the history or stuff like that?
I think also it cannot be the main reasons that the club is bringing in a coach. I think football should be looked at holistically, and even the best of the best in scouting and in recruitment, they speak about the eye, and this you cannot replace with data. Data informs us how many games he has played and this and that, and how many goals he has scored, and how many passes the team makes, and ball possession, and this and this and that. But you still want, even if let's say you're looking for a coach that is a ball position coach, you still want to see how do they play and in which areas do they keep possession. You know what I mean? So it is an option with modern football now, with how they recruit, and there's transfer room as well that they use for players as well, where they share players and share this data that we speak about. But data just informs us of the numbers that the players do. But you still have to look at what he does and how he does it. Is he the right manager? Is he gonna be able to adapt to the 11 languages? Is he gonna be able to adapt to the millions of cultures that South Africa has? So it's not only about the data. With South Africa, it's a little bit you know not easy, because also, if you go to Italy, they speak one language, one culture, Italian. And then in South Africa, there's 11 languages, there's 20 cultures, and there's races, colors, blacks and whites. And, so there's a lot that we need to consider when we bring in a coach. Is the coach, because also Moeneeb speaks of a coach Mandla a lot, and because
Yeah.
he played a big role in helping Coach Riveiro into adjusting into the club and adapting into the club as well. So also we need like a good technical team holistically. We need support to the coach, the people that he wants to bring in, the staff that he wants to bring in. Of course, in terms of players, with Pirates, it's a little bit different. You have to consult powers that be. But I think what is important for me is for the coach to be supported, and for the coach to bring in the right support structure and the right support staff into his technical team. And I think for me, especially, what's important is, or maybe my preference, it would be a South African guy again, to be given a chance. There's too many foreign coaches in the big three already. We have um, two teams that are coached by foreign coaches. I think we need to give a South African guy a chance also to fail if he needs to fail, or to win and succeed if needs be. And this will also grow our football, because we don't want Rulani to go to Zamalek, and we don't want Benni to go to Kenya, and we don't want Fadlu to be we don't want Fadlu to be in Tanzania, and we don't want Thabo Sinong to be in Malawi. We want them to coach the big club. We want Sundowns to be coached by South African, Chiefs to be coached by South African. All these, especially the big clubs, to be coached by South Africans. I think this will also bring the level of our game a little bit higher as well, and the level of our coaches as well. So, and people that understands our players.
But don't forget also, Mark, don't forget that should be, is it going to be a short term or long term? Because the goal here is to win the league, right? I mean, Sundowns have been dominating for about 8 seasons or so, winning it in a row. I think that's what the fans want. They want somebody that's going to come in and win the league and maybe get into the final or semi-final of the Champions League. There will be progression from what Coach Riveiro has left. You don't want to get someone in and now you're starting again with the building blocks. And you know how it is with coaching. I need some time. I need to work on this project. You know, the system is going to change. The way the team plays might even change. So it's a bit tricky, Moeneeb.
No, 100%, Cheez. Exactly. The foundation has been laid for the next coach to come in and go and win us this league. Not to go and rebuild and the players that we got, we have enough quality there in our squad to go and win this league. We just need the right leader to go and take us there. So, you know, we don't have this time now anymore. We've been speaking too long about every coach that come in want to rebuild. That is important and it's vital that we bring a serial winner.
Sure.
You know, we bring a serial winner, someone who's just about proving a point. I need to win with this team. You know, and Orlando Pirates deserves that. They deserve that. You know, we're tired of having to hang around and, oh, listen, we need time. We need time to build this. We need time to build that. No, you're building nothing. This team has been built for you to take to the next level.
Yeah.
So it's time now that we start dominating. You know, it's like in the UK. You know, there's a transition period where the Manchester United of the world under Alex Ferguson, they were running UK football. Then the next team came. Then the Manchester Cities of the world started dominating. Then the Liverpool started coming back. So it's that transition period for us now, where I feel that it's time for us now to take the baton forward and go and win things, not go and build things.
Yeah.
How long do we want to build for? You know, no. It's time to win, and our coach we need that winning mentality coach here.
Yeah.
That is what we need. A guy that's going to win. Wants a serial winner, like Mark has said. You know, so we don't have time to build anymore. We did, like he said as well. Coming to Orlando Pirates, yes, you need all those criteria to be the Orlando Pirates coach. But most importantly as well, we need a coach with good temperament.
Yeah.
Someone who can handle pressure. You know, someone who can deal with that pressure, who doesn't crack under that pressure, who doesn't point fingers at if the pressure and the heat comes. Because look at our coach Jose. Look at Jose that was here. He was hammered in the beginning. But not once did he go out in the media and start pointing fingers, pointing this, making excuses. Wow. We need someone who's secure in his abilities. Someone who's secure in his understanding of how good he really is. Not when the pressure comes that I'm going to pass that responsibility on. No, we need a strong character with big shoulders, literally and figuratively.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to go and take us forward now, because the foundation is there for us.
Danko. I know. No, Wafetu, no, ni repile, Wafetu. I think this one now we'll have to leave it to the fans, to Amaparania, on their thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that button, Wafetu. We need the numbers. And also, Nipi, I think the fans also need to engage a bit with us in terms of the coaches that we've mentioned as well. You know, they also need to come up and say, okay, we would prefer having this kind of a coach because, you know, Pirates is it's a big team, my friend. It's not only just run by one person, like you said. Big personality that's needed there. Somebody will be working hand in hand with the fans because you really need the fans behind you as well, you know. So, yeah, with that being said, on Talking Pirates, Wafetu, don't forget, we'll answer your comments and give us your suggestions, guys. Maybe we'll have a voting poll in terms of which coach do you believe can make the grade and win the league, because the coach that's coming in must win the league for Pirates. Champions League, semi-final or final. I think that's where the standard is. From us, Nipi, Marky, we are out.
SoccerBeat, what?